Hello and welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring. One of my favourite miniature skirmish games is, as long-time viewers will know, Moonstone by Goblin King Games. I have supported this game through retail and 2 Kickstarters, and have been lucky enough to collaborate with the makers numerous times. But it's been a little while now since I've had a chance to talk about the game on the channel. Well, recently I had some reward points from one of my preferred online retailers burning a hole in my pocket, and I thought I would use them to treat myself to a few new goodies for Moonstone while I was waiting for my latest Kickstarter haul to arrive. For me, the Moonstone miniatures are some of the very best modern miniatures on the market. They are exceptionally well made and wonderfully characterful, and it was incredibly tempting to blow all my points on buying more models. I am still in need of a mortician and a grub after all, and it blows my mind I still haven't added these 2 important characters to any of my teams yet. But after much deliberation, I decided that I would splurge on some of the premium accessories that I normally wouldn't bother buying, as they are more luxuries than essentials needed for play. Of course, I had to pick up at least one new troop box as well, so I bought myself the Goblin Airship. If you don't know, I am all about the goblins. Other factions are cool, but the goblins are the coolest, and I've been meaning to get the airship for a while. It doesn't really fit into any of my team strategies at the moment, but I love the miniature so much. Anyway, I will talk about that another time when I build and paint it. For today, I want to talk about the 3 Moonstone branded premium accessories I picked up. And I'm going to say this up front. For what they are, these are all on the expensive side. But Moonstone is still an indie game from a small company. This is actually the only game Goblin King Games makes, and they simply don't have the economies of scale in place for significant wiggle room on pricing. Also, all of these products are high quality and manufactured in the UK, and that is something I can always get behind. With all that said, let's start with the measuring widget. This has got to be one of the most frivolous purchases I've ever made. I normally use a tape measure for tabletop gaming, I'm old school like that, but Moonstone tends to work on very small ranges and often in tight spaces where it can be difficult to get a traditional tape. Plus, I thought this widget was pretty cute with the engraved Moonstone logo. It's made from laser cut perspex sheet, around 3mm thick, so it feels good and chunky, and the 4 sides are cut to measure from 1 to 4 inches. And for the most part, those 4 measurements are all you need. Most, possibly all, melee ranges in Moonstone are 1 to 2 inches. A step action or reaction is 1 inch, a standard jog move is 4 inches, and most abilities have a range of 2, 4, 6 or 8 inches. I wouldn't have minded some inch markers engraved on each side, I think that would have helped a bit, but it does what it's supposed to do, and I do find slotting the widget between 2 miniatures is a bit more convenient than using a tape. Is it necessary? Not really, none of the stuff we're looking at today is necessary. Is it doing anything wild, inventive or unique? Of course not. It's a fun little thing though. If you buy the Moonstone 2-player starter set, you will get one of these in the box, but it's made of cardboard. This perspex one is just going to be a lot more durable. Next up we have a set of 3 wooded patch tokens. There are some characters that can create wooded patches during a game. It's not really a thing for the Goblin faction, but I do have some nice tree people for the Leshervolt faction who make use of this mechanism. When a character uses such an ability, they place a 50mm round patch of woodland on the battlefield. Collectively, the members of your team are allowed to create a maximum of 3 patches, and if they ever try to create more than that, they have to move one of the patches previously created. In other words, 1 pack of 3 tokens is enough for 1 player. Each patch has a 50mm diameter and comprises a double-sided printed image of some woodland sandwiched between 2 thick sheets of acrylic laminate. That's really neat because it means the tokens are double-sided and the image is under the acrylic so it won't wear off. Each patch has unique art, but that art is the same on both sides of the tokens. Initially, I was using scratch-built terrain for wooded patches, and that does look better during a game than using these tokens. However, the tokens do have advantages. For a start, you don't have to build more terrain. They are also more convenient to transport, and they are exactly the right size to ensure fairness during gameplay. Finally, using the tokens makes it easier to identify which terrain elements have been in place since the start of the game and which were placed as the result of an ability. If you are playing on a heavily wooded battlefield, that could prevent a lot of confusion. So there we go, these are pretty useful, but the artwork isn't quite as nice as I would have liked. I think I would have rather seen something a bit more cartoony. And speaking of cartoony art, let's move on to the last accessory, and the thing I am most excited about. It's the Dominion Faction token set, an excellent selection of tokens for running any Dominion faction. Goblin King Games currently offer 3 of these faction token sets, this Dominion one, and then sets for the Lesher Vault and the Commonwealth. Each set comes with a different distribution of tokens. For the Dominion, you are getting 20 tokens for tracking status effects and abilities, and then, the main reason I bought this, 38 energy tokens. Every character in Moonstone generates energy tokens, and the amount of energy they generate decreases as they take wounds. These tokens are used to make actions and power abilities. Up to now I have been using some generic acrylic beads, but I really wanted some of these flashy ones with the Dominion symbol. These are made in exactly the same way as the wooded patches. You get a double-sided image sandwiched between acrylic laminate. They're thick, durable and hard wearing, and they are big enough that they aren't fiddly to handle. The energy tokens are around 15mm diameter. The status tokens are really interesting. At first they look a little odd as they have an unusual curved shape, but as I'm sure you have realised, that curve lets you place the tokens snugly against the base of your miniature. I like the reload tokens. I have several characters with guns that require reloading, and while you can mark the unloaded status of the weapon on your character card, it's handy to have a more obvious visual reminder beside the miniature. Some of the status tokens have blank spots where you can write in your own values. For example, this token indicates an adjustment to the character's melee stat. We can just write the new value directly on the token using a dry erase pen. When we are done, we can clean it off. The problem with dry erase pens is that you can sometimes smudge them during a game. I have a little trick though. You can write on the tokens with a permanent marker instead. Don't worry, I'm not crazy. When you are done with the token, grab a dry erase pen and scribble over your permanent marker. Make sure it's completely covered, then wipe off. And that's that, good as new. Overall, I think these tokens are really nice. The status tokens are useful, but the energy tokens are the big draw for me. There is something so pleasing to me about having energy tokens with the correct faction symbol on them. I may well have to pick up the Lesher Vault set at some point as well, but they will have to wait. Because we are nearing the end of the video and it's almost time for me to sign off. I hope you have found this quick look at some of the accessories available for Moonstone interesting. If there is anything you have seen you would like to pick up, you can order direct from Goblin King Games or check in with your retailer of choice. I bought all of this stuff from Element Games and you will find an affiliate link for them in the video description below. And that is it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really like this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.